So let's talk a little bit about your animal. What's his name, and give us a little bit about his background.
His name is Cornivore. He's a half-blood semi-tall steer that we got from Brian England in Mount Air.
Okay.
We've had him out a few times this year, just showing. We didn't really, at the beginning of the year, we didn't really have plans for the Governor Steer Show, and then things kind of went this way, and we're glad to have the opportunity to show in this year's Governor Steer Show.
So I'm just standing here and I'm looking, how tall are you?
About 6'5".
And you do sports or anything like that? So what do you do?
Basketball, football, run track.
And I heard that maybe you do a little QBing.
Yep, I'm the quarterback on this year's team.
On what's your, are they the Knights or who are they?
The Northland Lynx.
The Lynx. Lynx.
Mighty Lynx.
Yeah, so the same conference Alicia used to be as Lisbon.
Yep, same conference.
Okay.
Different sides now. They split the conference in half.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the folks that are sponsoring you, and a little bit maybe about your fundraising experience, and then we can talk a little bit about the charity itself.
Yeah, so this year I was sponsored by the Iowa Corn Growers Association, and they've been a great help to me. We've had, we usually, they don't pick these calves till a lot later, but with the Iowa Corn Growers this year, they selected ours calf probably in late June. We knew we were going to come to this show.
Wow.
So we were able to do a lot of media stuff and start promoting it a lot earlier than a lot of these other calves. So it was nice that they've had great support this whole time from the Iowa Corn Growers. It's a really good organization. And we've had great support from like our local communities. I think with pop tabs, I can't remember the exact, I think we donated close to 20 gallons worth of pop tabs just from everyone in our community. So we've had great support through our community so far this process.
Our experience has been that the community support can be pretty humbling too.
Yes.
You know, that's awesome. We're with Tate and Lance, and this is the Iowa Corn Growers team. And I think maybe the best thing to do would be maybe you guys just talk a little bit about your experience and your connection, and you know, the cooperation that the Iowa Corn Growers has, and some of the, I'll just say, experience with a great partner and a great animal, and just take it from there.
Okay,
So introduce yourselves.
So yeah, I'm Lance Lillibridge with the Iowa Corn Growers Association. A couple months ago, I was asked if I would represent Iowa Corn in the Iowa Governor Charity Steer Show, and I was absolutely thrilled. It was a fantastic opportunity, and being that on my farm we have a cow-calf Red Angus operation, and we've been to a lot of shows, my kids' show, and it was a kind of just almost overwhelming invitation that I would get this opportunity, and but I didn't really know what to do next. I wasn't sure, and didn't know how much I should talk about it or anything like that. And Luke Haughenbury, Tate's dad, works for Bodensteiner Implement, John Deere dealership in Raleigh, Iowa, and we work with Luke quite a bit, and I was telling Luke about it. He's like, "Oh, really?" He said, "Oh, man," he said, that just sounds like a great time. He said, "Yeah," he says, "Tate's really got a nice steer this year." And he said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "So you got to talking, it's like, well, what are you going to do for a steer?" And I said, "Well, I'm not really sure how this all works, but I'll find out." And the Iowa Corn Promotion Board then, the Animal Ag Committee, well, they said I needed to pick a youth and pick a steer. And I also had a neighbor that had a really super nice steer, so I was looking at both the animals and trying to decide which one I wanted to take, and God darn it, all of a sudden Governor Reynolds got involved with it, and she picked the steer that was in the backyard, but that was okay. He was a great steer, great opportunity for them guys. And quite honestly, I went over and looked at Tate's steer, and I'm like, yeah, that's the one. That steer moves, and the coolest part about it, more so than the animal itself, was that I could tell right away, and I didn't know Tate, did we? We didn't know each other. And I could tell as soon as Tate grabbed a hold of the halter of that steer and he walked it out of the barn, he'd worked with that animal, and he spent a lot of time with that animal. You can always tell when a young person works with their animal. It's just it's very, very distinct in how that connection is. And so I knew right then that was the steer I wanted, and so I was kind of happy that Reynolds picked the other one as well. And Reynolds has got a great steer, but we got a good one too. So it's but that's kind of how that all happened for me anyway.
So Tate, tell us a little bit about what your experience has been.
Well, cattle has always been a big passion of mine, and this summer we were just working with a steer, getting ready for county fair, and we didn't really have any plans for him after that. And then when this opportunity came about, I was super thankful for the opportunity. I've never had the chance to actually watch the show in person before, but I've seen videos of it online, and it seems like a really cool opportunity, and I'm super excited for it.
Let's talk a little bit about the corn growers' connection maybe with the charity.
Sure.
Because this is a fundraiser, and it's an important part of the dynamic. So let's spend a little bit of time talking about that, from all the way from your perspective to the local funds, and some of the things you've already told me I think has been fascinating.
Yeah, so as I grew up as a young man, I was always taught that we need to make sure that we contribute to our communities, and whether that's a volunteering for something, or donations, or helping out at your local church, or being involved with 4-H, FFA, all of those kinds of, everything. There's all kinds of great, wonderful charities out there, but the Ronald McDonald House is really quite fascinating, and how they work with families that are in a really bad situation. If you find yourself staying at a Ronald McDonald House, it's probably not because of a good situation, but it's definitely one that they make those families feel at home. They give them a safe place while they're dealing with what they have to deal with, and that's all done by volunteer work and donations. So Iowa Corn Growers Association, they participate in the Iowa Governor Charity Steer Show every year. We've had a slot for quite some time, and that's an opportunity for us to give back to our community, give back to our state, actually. And when we got this opportunity, there's a Community Hero Award that's going to be given this year. And I said, you know what, that's kind of right up our alley. And so I contacted Tate, and I contacted his dad, his mom, and I said, hey, we got to knock this out of the park some way, somehow. And we went to work right away. And I'm not sure where we sit in the rankings for this, but I think we're sitting pretty good. So Tate really went out and knocked it out of the ballpark with the pop tabs. They took donations of pop tabs, and then we also took donations of table service and snack foods, prepackaged stuff that could go into the Ronald McDonald houses for families to utilize while they're there. And recently I was in New Orleans and for a National Corn Growers Association, and folks there knew that this was going on, and they started making donations to me to go get what we needed to take care of the Ronald McDonald House. So it was a whole group of people, big effort all together for Team Cornivore. That's the steer's name, by the way, Cornivore. So it was a lot of fun doing that. And it was great having Tate's family involved with that. His family's just absolutely awesome.